In this section, we're going to talk about laser safety. There's been a lot of misconceptions about how lasers work or the ability of lasers to do anything from shoot down airplanes to destroy the earth in the movies we've seen over the years to cut people in half. Dental lasers are very precise instruments that deliver energy to specific targeted tissue that helps us do better dentistry day in and day out. Okay? But sometimes our patients have a perception that's quite different. And we need to educate our patients and our staff as to the precautions needed when utilizing lasers. First of all, the laser used for dentistry or used in the dental field are in the infrared or near infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The laser light is actually invisible, but there is an aiming beam, 600-700 nanometer aiming beam that is placed on the laser. That's that orange or reddish light that shows us where we're actually shooting the laser energy. The laser energy, though, is in itself invisible. So we have to take certain precautions. Lasers used, especially soft tissue lasers, the 810 diode or 810 nanometer diode laser would be considered a soft tissue laser. And diode lasers seek pigmented tissue. So we have to take certain precautions when utilizing these lasers. Not only for our patients, but also for our staff, for ourselves. Whether we're wearing loupes, we also need precautions. So while we're providing care to our patients, everyone in the room should have wavelength specific glasses for the 810 nanometer wavelength of the Precise LTM laser. Okay. Well, what does that do, or what does it tell us? That tells us because diode lasers do seek pigment and laser energy can be reflective, we need to protect our eyes because there's pigment contained in our cornea. So the biggest precaution is protecting our eyes against that invisible laser energy that could be transmitted beyond the field of where we're working. Now each laser or each wavelength has what's called a NOHD, a nominal ocular hazardous distance. And we have to be aware that laser energy, because it has a reflective nature, the diode lasers do have some reflective nature, that energy can be transmitted. The NOHD for this laser is about 3.9 meters. Now, that doesn't mean that the energy is hitting one wall and bouncing off a wall and knocking someone out or damaging their eyes. But everyone in the operatory should have protective eyewears on, including the patient, your assistant, and the operator. If the operator wears loupes, he has to wear protective wavelength for that specific wavelength of that laser, incorporated either in front of the loupes or into the actual loupes. I tell people to contact your loupe maker because now most loupe makers are making laser protective wear for their loupes. So whatever company you're utilizing, just contact the manufacturer and they should be able to provide some protective materials for your loupes. The other requirement is posting of a laser sign outside each operatory in which laser is being utilized. Now again, it looks a little intimidating to see this danger sign, and it's just a precaution and it's a safety requirement required from the government. So don't be alarmed by seeing this or having to post this, but we want our patients to be aware and educated as to what laser energy can and can't do. Now the actual laser has certain safety measures built into the laser required by government regulations. First of all, we have an on-off switch in the back. We have the key that activates or turns the laser on. As we said earlier, there's an emergency stop button. If that's hit, the laser's immediately turned off. If it's hit again, it resets it. And then we also have a ready button. Without hitting that ready button, the laser will not fire. If we hit the foot pedal, the laser will not fire until it is in the ready mode, and you will actually see that it is ready to fire. Only at that point will the laser be fired if the foot pedal is now activated. As you can see, the laser also contains an aiming beam. Like any aiming beam or laser pointer, you want to be aware and you want to be careful with that too. You wouldn't want to point that into someone's eye directly. Now, while I know of no person that has eye damage from utilizing a laser, or I've read no studies of or reports showing that eye damage has occurred from using a dental laser, I tell people, don't be the first. Always take necessary precautions when utilizing your laser. Some of the other precautions are not using a diode laser with combustible gases. We do not use a laser with nitrous or oxygen. Okay, one precaution. Another requirement of having or utilizing a laser in your office is to appoint someone as a laser safety officer. A laser safety officer would be someone who would be taking care of the laser, would educate new staff members that come into your office, or that just the day-to-day care of the laser, and also someone that would be in charge of keeping the key. Because as you can see, without the key, the laser is inactivated and cannot be turned on or used. A few other points I'd like to bring up that would also assure that you use your laser in a safe mode day in, day out would be to use proper barrier techniques. Obviously, we wear gloves, masks. If we're using the laser, we want to use high-speed evacuation because your laser could create a plume or smoke when interacting with tissue. If you're interacting with diseased tissue or tissue of a viral nature, you want to make sure that that's evacuated with a high-speed evacuation. And remember, always start out by using your laser at a low power. Test fire it outside the mouth and always use it at a low power. You can always bump up the power as needed, but I think you'll be surprised sometimes how well the laser cuts at lower settings. So enjoy using your laser. Take a couple precautions. I think the precautions are very simple, and overall your laser is a very, very safe instrument to use for you, for your staff, and for your patients.